Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here with day 19. I know, it's the 22nd that you're seeing this, hopefully. But don't worry, we'll be catching up so that the last video will show on the 25th on Christmas. So, I am in love with the sheep. Look at these sheep. I love their facial expressions. This is by Clearly Besotted. Yes, got the stamp company correct this time. Yep, miracles can happen. I am just absolutely in love with this stamp set when I saw it. It's beginning to cost a lot like Christmas. The sentiments are absolutely adorable. But again, what's really selling me are the faces. These, they're just awesome. So the ones that I fell in love with, so we're going to do some stamping first. I am actually going to create a scene. Again, I try to continue to work on things that make me uncomfortable, and scene building is definitely one of them. Now, there's a couple reasons for that. One, I don't do a lot of it. I try to avoid it. And again, it's because I'm not comfortable. But the main reason is, or I shouldn't say the main reason, but one of the larger reasons, we'll call it that, I don't like fussy cutting the masking paper. I'm just saying. I mean, let's be honest. But it's something that I want to overcome. Look at that face of the sheep. And with the sign with no tree, I just think they are hysterical. I will be using my colored pencils for this. And I'll be using my Prismacolors. And I will be showing all of the coloring. So this video will be long. Well, I really speed that up, but I do show all of the coloring. So you can see here I'm cutting my mask. What I do when I'm cutting a mask is I pray that it's not intricate. Just say. I really do put those prayers to work on that, but I move the paper. If you notice, my scissors are constantly straight up. It's very rare that my scissors will go side to side. It's the paper that I'm actually turning, and I'm just closing up the scissors at a certain point, and then I'm moving them. To me, I find that easier. It helps me to stay on the lines. It helps me to get those circles, those smooth edges that I'm looking for. When I do cut out a mask, I make sure I'm just slightly inside or to the left of the stamped line. This way I don't get any halos when I do the stamping of the other pieces. I'm going to be grabbing two more sheep. Now, of course, the one with the tree, with the no tree sign, he just had my heart. And I thought the sheep, I just love these sheep. They are just too cute. And then the sheep with his paws crossed in front of him, like, yeah, I don't want to be here. I'm just saying. And the antlers, fell in love with him. And then I thought the one with the lights wrapped around him was perfect because of the no trees. So I have those three stamped out. Now, if you notice, when I stamped these, I have the no tree sign in the front. So I have him actually a little lower on the card where I stamped. And then the ones that I wanted behind him are just raised just a little bit. Again, it helps with that perspective. And that's something that I work with as well. Again, I don't focus on a light source. I try. I mean, I'm giving it a shot, but I don't stress over it. But when it comes to perspective, I am working that on as well. You can take a same size image, and if you just push it up just a little bit behind that front image, it will look like it's behind that image, what it's resting on. The colors that I'm using are my warm grays. So I wanted my sheep to be very gray, with black feet, or black paws, or hooves, whatever you want to call them, and ears. So, but I'm starting with my warm grays, and I'm coming in with my darkest shade just along the outside, and creating a thick line around that. And then I'm coming around and filling in with the lighter warm gray. Again, just to give it some depth. I'm not worried too much about complete blending because if I see those swirls, and I'm using very small circles when I'm doing this. The paper that I am coloring on for this is actually a Bristol Smooth. It's actually the vellum. I don't see the difference between the vellum or the smooth. I'm just saying. And it's by Canson XL. I am a very big fan of the Canson XL products. So you can see I am still using the warm grays, but I am using the darkest warm gray, and then coming in with the darker shade that I used for the sheep bodies themselves. I will be coming in with some black just to really darken those up as well. I want them to be pretty dark so that they will stand out and just add a little bit more dimension to these awesome sheep. When it came to the sentiments, what I loved is they hit all kinds. You know, put me on the naughty list. Baaaa Humbug to you. EWE. We have a little ho. We have a little XO. We have a humph, which I love. We have a little high. I've been bad. Yeah, I tried that. Didn't work. Fleece Navidad. I'm just saying. Okay, how cute is that? Okay, Fleece Navidad. All right. And Seasons Bleedings. It's just an awesome stamp set. When I saw it in my stash, I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yes. I don't know, as I said, or as I always say, if with all the products that I used, if they're available, they'll be listed down below. So now I'm pulling in some colors. I'm coming in with a red. Now I'm just using one shade of red. I want that red no cross out sign to really stand out. So I'm just coloring that in solid. I will add some shading to the tree and of course the sign itself. And I'm only using 2 colors. With an image this small, 2 colors is just fine. You would also be just fine with 1. So you can see with the sheep, I came around on the outside with the darker colors, or with the darkest color, then I filled in with the lightest. For the most part though, when it comes to when I use my colored pencils, and colored pencils are my medium of choice. They are my first medium to color with that I'll grab for. I've just been coloring with them for a very long time, ever since I've been a kid. These are techniques, I don't know if they're correct techniques, but these are techniques that work for me. And I do operate them for the most part like I do a alcohol marker. So 9 out of 10, I'm filling in with my lightest color as the base, and then I'm coming in with my darker shades, like I did with the tree. I'm okay with coming in with the darkest shade, and you can, because again, the purpose is not to get the paper saturated like it is with an alcohol marker. The purpose of a colored pencil that I can't speak today, sorry about that, is you want to make sure that you're using a light hand so that you can continue to add the layers of color. And by doing that, and by not giving yourself all that pressure, you're not filling in the tooth of the paper. That is what I refer to it as. I am not a fan of coloring on Nina Solar White. It's too smooth. I don't get good blends. I get streaky blends because it's smooth. It is a very smooth surface. I want a paper with a tooth, with a texture, so that it'll grab the pigment. Okay, right back to the card. So I'm taking my very pale blue, I believe this is cloud blue, and I'm just putting in some lines, just drawing them. I'm actually creating hills in the background, and I'm putting some blue around them just to help them stand out just a little bit more. It's like there's going to be a winter scene behind them. But I really wanted them to stand out. Now, you could have, you know, added in your sky in the background. But what I did for that was just use a light blue pencil just to add some blue in behind that. Not much though, very little, because I wanted the hills and the sheep and now these trees to really come in to the focus. So I used a brown and just draw a straight line, and now I am literally just scribbling back and forth, and I'm going to do that with 2 shades of green. So I'm really putting these pine trees in the background. I mean, way back because of the size. They're tiny. Very tiny. But that's all I'm doing to add those trees. And now I'm coming in with a darker shade and just, again, being even more sketchier. It's a word. For those trees. And again, if the tree is not in the hill, like the one all the way on the right, I added just a little bit of a blue line to make it look like that was sitting in a hill as well. I then came in, I'm adding some light blue, or I'm adding the light colors, and just putting those shades in there. And for these, I am using 2 colors. Or no, I'm not using. I'm using the pressure to add the darker shade of the 1 color pencil that I'm using. You can certainly do that. Now, I do apologize. I'm getting carried away here because I'm starting to get out of focus or out of the frame here, so I apologize. So I completed those adorable antlers. I'm just adding a little bit of blue to the top of their eyes. And those are our awesome sheep. Now, I totally forgot to zoom back out. So, wow, you're really going to see the glue. I added a light blue frame around the outside just to help accent the sky, which is barely visible, but it is there. I'm adding some glitter to the eyelids because why not? And I added some glitter to the lights that are wrapped around. And I'm just basing them and grounding the hills of the snow with some glitter as well. I'm in love with this card, and I love this stamp set. I think it is great. Now this is a normal view of the card. So I do hope you enjoyed day 19. I'm changing the days around, so I apologize. Hopefully I'll get the days right too, along with the stamp set. Day 19 of my Christmas series for 2020. Again, we focused on clearly besotted and just having fun with a Christmas card to make somebody smile, because we can certainly use those. All the products that I used will be listed down below as long as they're available. And if you have any questions, make sure you leave those down below, as I am fastly catching up onto all of the wonderful comments you've all left. Smile, laugh a little bit each day, but always remember what's most important for me. Always be creative, guys. Till next time, see you at day 20.